Supernatural Season 11, Episode 6, Our Little World. This was an insanely good episode because there was just so much that was great about this episode. And of course, the biggest thing was the unbelievable reveal that Amara is God's sister. Now, I'm going to get to all that stuff, just the last, 10 minutes. I think probably, the last 5 minutes, really, were, the craziest things for this episode. But I'll start from the beginning, and I want to talk about Cass, because Cass was awesome in this episode. Him dealing with Metatron, or Marv, of course, he has, Marv Corporation now, trying to get a bunch of money and stuff off of, selling bits of news to the news, I guess. And it was kind of funny, Cass, first off, Cass was really awesome because it was we got a new side of Cass that we hadn't seen before, which was sort of like a PTSD version of Cass, where he was freaked out to leave out of the bunker, even after Dean was we need you out here, buddy, stop watching, whatever he was Jenny Jones, and, paternity tests and all that crap, so, we need you out here, we need, some sort of info, we need Metatron for sure. And so he goes to the door, he has all these flashbacks, and it wasn't just of him being evil Cass, it was actually of him even when he was basically being attacked by evil Dean. So it was just everything that happened recently to him really affected him. Just the chaos that he caused, the chaos that was caused by the Mark of Cain, all of which was kind of caused by the Mark of Cain. He even thought about attacking Crowley, which I thought was very interesting. It kind of made me think that bothered him too, which kind of starts to put him in sort of the Sam and Dean grouping of we don't really like Crowley, but don't want to kill him too much. So that was interesting, which also came up, the sort of Sam and Dean thing versus Crowley, so that was pretty cool. But he was really bothered by it. He was so affected that he went back to just watching the news, and then he got that little glimpse, he saw Metatron, so that that got him. It was Metatron, who screwed up a lot of crap, obviously. That was able to bring him out of, the slump that he was in. And Metatron made a pretty big mistake. I thought he was right because we saw, the PTSD stuff. And then he's look at you, you're different, you changed, you're afraid to, hit me. And then he punched him right in the nose, and then he really started messing him up. He threw him through some glass, and he was just beating the crap out of him. And I was I was surprised by this as well. So that was really cool. I like seeing, that side of Cass where it's he's in control, but not 100%. He said, he wasn't afraid or anything, but he's still definitely affected. If he wasn't afraid whatsoever, obviously we wouldn't have had the scene where he was, startled into staying inside the bunker to begin with. So Metatron had something, but Metatron also screwed over all the angels and messed up a lot of stuff, so I can understand how Cass would be I can turn this off for a second and just punch him a lot. But I enjoyed that, and of course it led to the big reveal that Amara is basically on Earth to get revenge against God, and that is insane. We've had all this stuff with the darkness. It's the darkness was, before man and all this stuff. God banished it away, made the mark as the lock, and, that was kind of it. It was just this really bad, crazy thing, and this kind of confirms sort of what they kind of showed us in the beginning of the season, where the darkness really was kind of the darkness seemed very ambiguous. It seemed it wasn't exactly evil, and it wasn't initially. It was kind of just turned evil due to circumstance. It was kind of God was well, sorry sis, I gotta make people buy, and then that would kind of screw you over. That would mess you up a little bit, and yeah, it was just crazy. I was holy crap, that kind of brings it back to the darkness not exactly being 100% evil. Still bad. It still does take the souls of humans, which isn't exactly the greatest thing that, the darkness could possibly do. But it does kind of confirm that the darkness wasn't exactly the big bad evil that everyone said it was. It was just someone kind of basically betrayed by the only kin that they had. Which also, it just brings up the whole God thing, of course. They had a sister and a brother, so God has a parent. So that just dropped in my head. I let it go instantly because I was I don't even want to try to get into that contemplation type of stuff. But it was just really good. I was like, I did not expect that to happen. Amazing, amazing reveal. And then, basically after that, because we have the reveal there, and then we have Sam and Dean dealing with Amara as well as Crowley. And after that happens, and the whole situation kind of dies down, we have Sam, who I think I actually was before it all died down, was when he was trying to get into the door. He had like, it was like the little glimpses of the cage, and then after everything died down, it was the full glimpse of the cage, and I was just like, I was so happy. I was like, they have this insanely great reveal where Amara is God's sister. Amara is trying to get revenge on God, which there's just no way that God can't be in this season, right? Like, if they do that, that would be devastating. That is the biggest tease ever. And I don't know where they could go. I've said it for years, like, God in Supernatural would be the final season. And they didn't say this was the final season. They said they're just going to keep on keeping on. So I don't know where they're going to take this. Maybe Amara won't find God this season, and they'll lock her away for a little bit, and then she'll get back out again, and then there'll be some other stuff happening. But holy crap, they put that in there. God has to be in this season. The cage is officially in this season, which I'd seen some pictures before. That was one of the things that came up before the season. They had some pictures up. And now we've gotten to see it. It's, just floating in space. It's got the chains and everything. And it has me so excited. I cannot wait to see what they do with this. I don't know who we're going to get. I don't know how they're the answer. We got 3 people in there, technically. So I don't know if Lucifer would be the answer, because he was like the first one who took the mark. But I feel like that kind of has to be the answer. It would, like, we have 2 other people, but it's like, I'm pretty sure it's going to end up being Lucifer. That's really important there. So I'm looking forward to that. However long it takes, I don't care. I just want that to happen. I'm assuming they'll have to go to hell they would have to go to hell. No, I said assuming, but they're going to have to go to hell if they're going to do that. Another really big thing was the fact that this place that Crowley's been at actually was on Earth, which does officially explain how Amara was able to get out. In like the last episode, she basically left out of the front door. Pretty simple. So, we have that. Crowley, like the whole episode, was really trying to figure out, like, oh, how do I take care of this, teenage girl who's growing and she's being rebellious, and he's getting like the quarterly soul projections and stuff, and he's reading like, why they fight back, how to help, or, how to deal with a rebellious teen and stuff like that. And it was just funny. He grounds her, which of course was like the main issue, which wasn't too surprising. It was just like he was mad. He did show a great display of force when he like pinned her against the wall, and that was one of my favorite scenes, because he's like, remember, I'm more powerful. And she was just angry looking. Everything was like, for now. And I was just like, that's not great. That does not equal being on the same side when someone says, you're more powerful for now. And then he tries to, make things right, like, look, I know you're going to be super strong. Let me protect you until you decide that you don't need my protection. And that's it. And she also, in this episode, it was the first time she was like, I'm not hungry, because she was mad at him. And then, of course, she has her show of force and is like, you know what? I don't need your protection anymore. So she's like crushing his bones, and he's just stuck against this wall. And I'm so jumping all over the place. But, before all that happens, it's when he's deciding that he's officially going to kill Dean. He's like, you know what? Lots and lots of time, and I'm kind of over it now. Like, you and your brother have kind of shown me this isn't good. I think I'm just gonna deal with this. I'm gonna kill you now. And he's actually back to wanting to kill him. I don't know how that's gonna play out after this episode, because of everything that happened, and knowing that Amara is gonna protect Dean. Not sure what route Crowley's gonna take. I highly doubt it would even remotely involve teaming up with his mother, but I don't know. Sometimes, crazy, moments, extreme circumstances, extreme measures. So you never really know what's going to happen with them. I highly doubt that would take place. But if it does, that'll be fun to see, because they really don't like each other. And even if they had to team up, it wouldn't be nice. It wouldn't exactly be amicable. It would just be like, I need you to defeat this thing. You need me to help defeat this thing. I'm just going to kill you after. And that they'd probably even be saying that to each other, considering, the characters. They probably admit that, like, we'll just kill each other after this. I'm gonna try to kill you before you try to kill me. But once this is solved, for now, I'll just, call you a bitch or something. So, I don't think that'll happen, but it would be hilarious if it did. And very interesting, because they are two insanely powerful characters. If they actually teamed up, they would be really difficult to stop. But I think the darkness would be quite a bit stronger at this point, and especially when she ends up taking, whatever souls, because she's just like walking around now, experiencing the world. I think the next time we actually see her, she probably will be like the full-grown version that we saw in the beginning of this season. So she's kind of got free reign to do whatever she wants now, and we'll just have to wait and see how that takes place. But I'm excited for that. Of course, Crowley's saying, like, I'm kind of done with this. I think I'm just going to officially kill you. Very awesome scene. The action itself was pretty good in this episode. Like, the stuff with Cass versus Metatron. Not exactly versus, just Cass beating up Metatron. Throwing him through glass. Dean, of course, got thrown into a mirror. Dean's always getting punched or thrown somewhere, so typical, but that was very interesting. I definitely loved the show of force that Amara had at the end when she kind of got Crowley to say, like, alright, he has safe passage to get out, and, he takes off so that he isn't killed. I love that. I thought that was really awesome. And then she kind of gives up the secret to Dean, like, I'm here to settle, like, an old score, like, the oldest score, and he looks at his blade, and it's like, oh, crap, like, yeah, like, told you, like, the oldest one there is. So they know, I wouldn't have figured it out that it was God from that, to be totally honest. I don't think I would have, but with the blade there, I guess, it kind of makes sense, because I can't remember the origin of the blade, and I don't believe I'm sure they talked about it exactly where it came from, but ultimately, it's like the one blade that can kill demons outside of the first blade, really, or angel blades, of course. So it was like, that's gotta be made by someone really high up, and only God could kind of commission that sort of deal. So I could easily see how he figured that out. Like, like, yeah, the oldest thing. That's not gonna be good for them, I wouldn't think. I mean, God hasn't really been involved, so I don't know what would happen if God was killed off. Like, who knows what would happen? I mean, if Amara won, we've kind of heard some of her plans, so it wouldn't be the best. But we'll see how it all takes place. Another great scene with Amara was her looking at memes. Hilarious, because I don't know if that was a real video or if they made that, but I was laughing because it was like two martial arts cats and one was getting kicked off screen. I was actually laughing at the meme itself, to be totally honest. So I did enjoy that. One thing that really caught me off guard in this episode was Sam. Because I know his whole thing was like, oh, we're not killing people, we're saving people. It's like, okay, yeah, makes sense, that's what they do. Try to protect people. I wasn't thinking he meant, like, the way that he did it in this episode. Because I was like, okay, yes, let's not kill people when we haven't solved the case. I didn't think he meant, let's never kill a demon again and try to exorcise them forever. Because we had the scene at first when it's like, oh, we'll just exorcise this demon and we'll keep the meat suit. I thought that was a part of the plan, where it was like, we'll keep this suit and use him as bait. That's what I was thinking, which is dumb. Especially with Sam's new deal, like his whole new rule and stuff, that didn't make any sense, but that's what I was thinking at first. And then they go to Crowley's base, and he's fighting these people. He has the angel blade, and then he puts it in the back of his pants, and I'm like, okay. He charged at him, and then the whole fight scene was happening. I'm like, does he just want to fight them or something? I was so confused until the demon got up, or actually until he pulled out the handcuffs, and I was like, oh, he's not trying to kill anybody, which was a really bad idea. And like, I know they can save people, but that's just really difficult. And that was like a 3-on-1 thing, and he did have to kill one, and he was like, 2-on-3, that's not too bad. But the first thing I thought, even when they had the guy and they were interrogating him, when he was like, oh, like, we could exercise him, the first thing I thought was like, oh man, if only he had those demon powers, because this would have been like the perfect time. Like, oddly enough, when he was about to go up against, like, the devil, it was like, man, if only you had that now, or had that rule back then, because that was working. That was also one of my favorite things. Like, I always loved how that looked, where it was like the smoke burned into the ground, and they were saving people. It was really one of those half and half things, because it was like, he's using demon powers and drinking demon blood and stuff, But he was totally saving everybody when he was doing that. And it's like, man, if only you had that power now. But that was also really bad that he had the power. So I don't know how that's going to work out for Sam and Dean, to be honest, because I mean they're a duo, so it's going to affect both of them. But I don't know when the world's going to happen, because I didn't think he was going to take it as far as he took it, and then I saw him basically trying to just like wrestle with like these three demons, and I'm like, that's just tough. That is a really tough thing. I also don't know how many handcuffs they have to just like cuffing all these demons and stuff. They can draw all the sigils they want, and that's pretty easy. But I don't know. Like after a certain point, it's like some video game logic where you just have like 100 of one thing in a backpack. That's not gonna work. So I don't know how far he's gonna take it. I don't know if he's gonna try to go to some new extreme measure to save people, or how that's gonna work. I don't know, but I don't know. It's gonna be something. I mean, the last time we actually saw, or last time I can really think of an exorcism was like a long time ago when they actually did the reverse exorcism, and that seemed really fast because he kept that demon from jumping out of the body, and whenever they do normal exorcisms, it takes way longer, which kind of doesn't make sense anymore because they did that super fast reverse exorcism, and like they didn't need books or anything. He just said it in reverse, and it was like boom, reverse exorcism, which I would love to see because that was literally one time they ever did that, and it was awesome because he just said it out of nowhere. It was like boom, and he kept the demon in the body. I was like, that was pretty sweet. But I would think he could just, boom, exorcism, just say the words and then send them all out. They probably, ultimately just fly right back in. So he probably couldn't do that because that would be totally pointless. But I don't know. That would have helped him in the fight. That's for sure. If he just yelled out an exorcism and just they were like, oh, we got to keep going in and out. This is boring. That'd be weird for the show. That wouldn't make any sense either. But I don't know what he's gonna do with that. I understand where he's coming from. Try to save everyone that you possibly can, including people taken over by demons, because every demon is really just possessing someone. We don't ever see anyone in their actual forms. Every angel is taking over a human body. So I don't know. I don't know where he's gonna try to take that or go with it, but it's not gonna be easy. And I'm looking forward to seeing that because it's gonna be a conflict. That'll probably just add to the conflict of him maybe getting visions from God. I'm starting to think it really is from God now. I don't think Lucifer suddenly is popping out like, hey, check, this is what you need to know. And if it was Lucifer, then I think when, Sam saw his dad, it would have been a bit more sarcastic. So maybe it really is God helping Sam, and then, it's the darkness helping out Dean. And we'll see what happens. We'll see where that goes. Sam is still hiding that big secret, of course. The no secret season, and that he's on probably the biggest thing, even more so than him having cured the darkness when he was infected. This is way worse. He told him about the first vision, so that was pretty much it, and now he's just back to hiding it, and it's like, man, they kind of had that moment, and now he's just right back to hiding it whenever he sees anything. So I don't know where it's going, but this was an amazing episode. I certainly loved it. The reveal was awesome. Metatron is in it. Also, Metatron hiding the demon tablet under his bed was hilarious to me. He's like, I don't know what to tell you. That place is, it's in a place where you'll never find. He's like, you hid it under your bed. And it was just like, what? And he's human now, and it's just funny to me. It was like, okay, he's got nothing. He really has nothing. He had that expensive camera, which as soon as I saw that, I was like, man, that is an expensive camera. And then, of course, he mentions that when Cass knocks it out of his hand. I was just like, oh man, they just got money coming out the wazoo for this show, because that was that had to be a couple $100s for that camera, which I guess for Supernatural is nothing now. But it was funny seeing him in this episode, and he's just human. He's got nothing. He tried to steal the money from the guy that was dying. It was like, sorry, I gotta eat. 500 seems like a lot, but I gotta eat food. So it's just Metatron being Metatron, but now he doesn't have any of his abilities. I don't know how much we're really gonna see of him, especially now that he's given the big reveal and Cass got the tablet from him. I don't know how much more useful he's really gonna be as just the annoying human Metatron, but he does obviously know a ton of stuff, so we might get some more answers out of him, and we'll just see what happens. Because Cass, like he says, I let him go because there's nothing he can do. Because if he brings any attention, every angel is coming to destroy him because he's done some bad stuff. But great episode for sure. Can't wait to see the next one. Of course, I want to know what you guys thought, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And obviously the big question is, what do you guys think of Amara's relation to God? Like that big reveal, probably one of the biggest reveals they've ever had in this series, to be totally honest. Like that, it has to be the biggest. I mean, it's God's sister. I don't know if he can really get bigger than that outside of them flat out saying, yeah, God does have a parent. I don't know what else they could possibly have that's bigger than that. But I loved this episode. Even aside from the reveal, it was just a really intense episode. Like, just the whole ending of them trying to get Amara and the stuff with Crowley and everything. Even before the reveal, it was just a really great episode. And then that just, like, blew it out of the park. So, I love this one. Past couple of weeks have actually been pretty awesome. Also, very sad, I almost forgot to mention this, but Lynn from the last episode actually plays a role in this because he died. And that just makes it even more depressing, because that was like the big thing about the last episode, where it just had me thinking, like, what is going to happen with his life, and he turned himself in because of this, and I was just contemplating about stuff that I thought would never come into play again. And then it turns out he was just killed off in this episode. And I was like, that really sucks. It just made it even sadder to me. And we find out quickly that it was because Crowley's sending demons because he doesn't want just soulless people running around. We also don't know what happened to that girl from the beginning, because that was just like, oh, Amara took her soul, and they worked with her as like, things. They used her as like the bait for that demon. And then it was just like, she's still got no soul. She's kind of just gone. So I don't know if that's going to come into play or anything like that. But she was kind of there, and then poof, she was out of it. So I guess they weren't bothered with that. I mean, I thought they were going to do something because they were looking for leads for soulless people. And then it was like, all right, we got her, and now we got the connection to Crowley. Let's get out of here. So she's just out of there. She tried to kill someone too, so I don't know, I guess they were like, well, she tried to actually kill someone and they know that, so send her to prison, I guess. I don't know. They just kind of, poof, gone. But either way, great episode. Really looking forward to the next one. Like I said, want to know what you guys thought about it, so please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.